everyone, and welcome back to Moonlit Destinies. So, today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood subjects in the world, that is astrology. With this word, I have heard many people saying that they believe on astrology, or some people do not believe on astrology for XYZ reasons. Now, what I understand, from my point of view is that the confusion whether astrology is correct or not and everything is comes from the lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, and lack of proper resources to sort of teach you what astrology is and how you can simply begin to understand your own chart and to understand what you know um, can be there for you in the future. So whether you have heard people say like I am a Leo, or Mercury is in retrograde, or you have wondered what a birth chart actually means, this video is going to focus, or will give you a complete beginner friendly guide to astrology. So I request you and suggest you to please watch till the end and try to simultaneously look into your chart as well, like what aspects I am trying to cover, and maybe you can make notes and something for those who really want to learn astrology. So by the end of this video, you'll understand zodiac signs, planets, houses, birth charts, compatibility, retrogrades, and much more. To an extent, like to a simpler extent, I would say. So we are just starting, and continuing with this series. I am going more videos in the series so that those videos can help you understand and begin your cosmic journey. Okay, so why have you ever thought like why astrology fascinates millions of individuals? Some people are not fascinated by astrology, I'm not saying that, but few of them, like some of them or most of them, I would say, are fascinated by astrology. See, astrology has fascinated humanity for thousands of years. Across different cultures and civilizations, people have looked toward the sky, searching for meaning, guidance, and understanding. Today, with so much knowledge and resources, and astrologers as well, astrology remains incredibly popular because it offers a unique way to explore your personality, your relationships, your emotional background, your strength, challenges, and life patterns as well. Many people use astrology as a tool for self discovery, right? To introspect, to self reflect within themselves. Now, others use it for, as I said, reflection, spiritual growth, or simply entertainment. So, regardless of why people are drawn to astrology, there is no denying that it continues to, attract or captivate millions around the world, right? So, now what exactly is astrology? Like, how can you define astrology? It is nothing but a symbolic system. We are referring, or we are looking to just symbols, right? Symbols further refers to the planets and the houses and everything like that. So we are referring to those symbols that studies the positions and movements of celestial bodies that is present in the atmosphere, of course. Now astrologers believe that these positions of the sun, moon, and other planets, of course, and stars at the moment of a person's birth, like whenever you were born, at that time, whatever the position of each planet and star in the atmosphere, in the sky, that snapshot decides your entire journey in the life ahead. It decides details that are so minute, such as your personality, your behavior, your emotional tendency, and your life themes. When are you going to get married? When are you going to get children? When are you going to get your job? Or when are you going to get good profits? Maybe when are you going to invest, or whatever you want to know. So it's important to understand that astrology is not about physical forces affecting human behavior, rather it is based on symbols, patterns, and interpretation as well, right? See, with astrology, nobody can 100% guarantee you a outcome or can tell you, like, this is going to take place. But it is often an interpretation of, what future is holding you ahead. So think of astrology as a symbolic language, that helps people understand themselves and their experiences. Now, there is a one of the biggest misconceptions. The origin of astrology can be traced back more than 4,000 years. Like, astrology was earlier meant for only the richer people, not the modern or not the middle class sized people. So yeah, now what is the language of astrology? See, to understand astrology, we must first learn its basic language. It has 5 components. It's as simple as that. It has 5 components. First is the zodiac signs. Second is the planets. Third is the houses. Fourth is the aspects. And fifth is the elements and modalities. Think of astrology, like a play. The planets are the actors, the signs. So now, what is the birth chart? See, birth chart is also known as a natal chart. So when somebody says or mentions, natal chart, it is a birth chart. It is the foundation of astrology. It is a map of the sky at which you were born, like the exact moment, the exact snapshot when you were born. Okay, now it varies for every individual, definitely. Now the birth chart shows us where every planet was positioned when you entered the world, right? Now, no two birth charts are exactly alike. This is why astrology goes far beyond simply knowing your sun sign or moon sign or rising sign. Okay, what information do you need to generate a birth chart? See, to generate an accurate birth chart, only three pieces of information is required. One is your date of birth, that we all know definitely. Second is where you were born, like what was the place where you were born. Third is very important, which is your exact time of birth. Like, exact means exact, literal exact. It should be like the minutes should be exact, because see, there are multiple charts when you decode a person's life or chart. So there is no just one chart that you are going to study or look at. There are multiple charts: D1 chart, D9 chart, D10 chart, D4 chart, D7 chart. So each of these charts are specified for specific life purpose, maybe children or maybe career. Like, D10 is basically observed for the career of an individual. D9 is basically tells us about the married life, when you are going to get married, how is your married life is going to be, how your spouse looks, which city is he or she going to come from, and details like that. So these individual charts, a part of the main chart, the D1 chart. They are like the specific parts of those charts in a detailed version to give you a detailed overview about any individual aspect of your life. Minute difference in the time can alter your birth chart by a great extent, can alter the readings, can alter things for you. So the exact time is definitely required. Like, it is the most important thing. Okay, the birth time is especially important because it determines your rising sign, as I said, and house placements too. Okay, rising sign is the most important chart which we look at while decoding a person's life. So even a difference of few minutes can change certain chart details. Now, what is the anatomy of a natal chart? See, when you first look at a natal chart or birth chart, it seems very complicated, right? For all of those individuals who does not know much about how to read a chart and are not aware about certain terminologies here and there, they definitely are going to feel the difficulty while decoding the birth chart. So I'll just give you a brief overview on the anatomy. See, you'll see a circular wheel divided into 12 sections. either circular wheel, or you can see a box divided into the 12th section. Now if you are looking at the circle part of it, so the outer ring contains the zodiac signs. The outer, I'll mention both of the snaps here, the circle one and the square one. Okay, so that you can understand and get a better view of it. So the outer ring contains the zodiac signs. Inside the wheel are planetary placements. Like zodiac sign is in what sign is specifically falling in these houses. For example, you have a circle in front of you. Now you'll see that circle, the outer ring, there are two rings. So the outer ring, the outer covering is mentioning the zodiac signs, Libra, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aries, like that. And inside the wheel, inside the ring, are your planetary placements. So at the time of your birth, which planet was occupying your first house, which planet was occupying your second and subsequent houses. So the lines crossing the chart represents aspects between the planets, right? It's beautiful, no? So the lines which are present in between the chart, the crossing the chart, it represents the aspects between the planets, right? Which planet is seeing which planet and how it is going to impact. And the wheel itself is divided into 12 houses, as I said, representing different areas of your life. So once you understand these components, reading a chart becomes much easier. I'll talk about the square one type. So in most of the apps, most of the Indian based apps and other apps are 12 in number if you count it, right? Starting from the upper middle house, that is the first house representing, here I'll represent it in the snap. Count our 12 houses. Now these houses are fixed. So the first house in my chart is going to be the first house in everybody's chart. But the planet occupying, the first house differs in everybody's chart depending on what time and what place and what day the person was born. The numbers which you see written as like 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the houses number. In few apps you will see Roman numbers or like written in every house that represents the houses. In like few apps does not even mention that, because it is understandable that these are the houses. Now the numbers which are mentioned in each houses, now that order can differ. For example, in my first house it can be any number. So that number represents the sign, which sign is occupying that particular house, and the planets mentioned in the diagonals, in the square, in the box, in each box are the planets that were available in that particular house during the time of your birth. That's how you understand the chart. That's first and foremost. Moving forward to the big three. Now, as I said, there are multiple charts when you look into astrology, or when you're trying to understand about a certain aspect. One has to look in different charts to get a detailed and a better idea of how and when and where that scenario is going to take place for you. But amongst all the charts that are available for a person, there are these three most important placements in astrology which are known as the big three, okay, which you have to look. It's important, it's mandatory, just to get just to get a better understanding, a detailed understanding. Now what are those big three? They are your sun sign, your moon sign and your rising sign. Together they form the foundation of your astrological identity, okay. So think of them as the core pillars of the astrology or your personality. Now we will discuss about each sign. So sun sign. See, sun sign represents your essential identity. It symbolizes your ego, your personality outer, your personality that you show to the outer world. Your vitality. What is your life purpose? Where do you want to reach? And what goal do you have? It is like a destination that where you want to be at certain time and position in your life. Now when people ask you what's a sign? They are usually referring to your sun sign for Western, concept. And in Indian astrology, we, when somebody is asked you what is your sign, they are basically referring to your moon sign, because Indian astrology is more based on moon sign than your sun sign, and Western astrology follows the concept of sun sign more than any other sign. Okay, so sun sign reflects your outer personality, who you are becoming throughout your life, with the experience. Where are you reaching? Like, what person are you becoming? What individual you are transforming into? That's your sun sign. Coming on to moon sign. Moon sign represents your emotional world, right? It governs your instincts, your inner self, your subconscious patterns, your feelings, your emotional needs, which you are very personal about, which you do not show to everybody, which you are comfortable in showing, your personal, your loved ones, uh, family or lovers and everything like that. While the sun reflects your conscious identity, right? Moon reveals your inner self, what is there in your heart, how are you feeling at the moment. So many astrologers, as I said, mostly in the Indian astrology, consider the moon sign as one of the most important placements in the chart, and so it is definitely a very important sign. Okay, now rising sign. What is rising sign? See, rising sign is often known as ascendant. It represents a sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at your birth. This sign which stays at the eastern horizon changes in every 2 hours. That's why rising sign is very specific in nature, and we often look at rising sign in a detailed manner to understand about a person's life. It is changing very fast, so it definitely gives us the variation we want to understand in each person's life patterns. It definitely influences first impressions that you outshow to people. Your physical appearance, like how are you, what are your personality, are you very confident, are you very beautiful, or high, like what is your real personality, are you very shy, things like that, and how others perceive you. So rising sign acts like the lens through which you experience life, right, which you see your life through. So you are often going to react through your rising sign, thinking like your moon sign, showing like your sun sign. It's like that. Okay, now there are, as I said, 12 zodiac signs. I am going to give you one liner for each sign. So starting with Aries, definitely. See, Aries are ruled by Mars. Mars is a very energetic, very courageous, very independent planet. It is action oriented. Like the Aries people does not like to think much, to reflect on the minute details that's needed. Aries are often very action oriented, so they think of something, they want to act onto that, and they just want to, they're natural pioneers. So Aries have this capability. They're naturally leading, they just want to do it all, they just want to do it at the very first position. They just want to they're very action oriented. They just cannot sit having a thought in their mind. They just cannot do like that. Tauruses values stability, loyalty, comfort, and persistence. They appreciate beauty and security and all of that. Gemini are very curious, witty minded, intelligent, communicative. They thrive on learning and conversation, because also they are ruled by Mercury, hence explains so much about them. Cancer, on the other hand, is ruled by Moon. Moon is like the major emotional planet ever observed in astrology. So Cancerians are very nurturing, they are very emotional, they are very protective and intuitive at the same time. Important priorities they have is family and emotional security. That's it. Moving forward to Leos. Oh my god, they are ruled by Sun. Sun is you all know that amongst all the planets, Sun has a beautiful presence in the world, right? Like it cannot be ignored, no matter you want it or not, right? They are just out there. So Leos are very confident, creative, they are very generous people, and very charismatic also. They naturally enjoy the self expression. Then coming towards Virgos are very analytical. They are ruled by Mercury, and they're very practical. They just want to act logically onto everything. They don't want to think emotionally and act emotionally onto things. They are very detail oriented. Often look at details, more than anybody else in the room, and they seek improvement and efficiency every time they are doing a thing. Maybe even if they are having a conversation with you, they will try their best to improve, in every line they are putting across. So they are like that. Librans are beautiful. They are ruled by Venus. Librans and Taurus both are ruled by Venus. So Librans of values harmony, fairness, diplomacy, and relationships too. Okay, they are very sweet people. They avoid conflicts as much as possible. Scorpions. So scorpions are literally like Scorpio. Like, they are intense. They are very determined. They are passionate, and they are transformative. Sagittarians are very adventurous by nature. They love to explore. They love to learn new things, and freedom is a very important priority for them. Capricorns are very disciplined. They are ruled by Saturn, so hence explains the disciplinedness in them. They are ambitious. They are responsible. They take responsibility and very goal oriented. Okay. Aquarians are ruled by Saturn, and the co-ruler of Aquarius is Rahu, or the North Node. They are very innovative, independent, visionary, and unconventional by nature. Pisceans are compassionate people. They're imaginative, they are intuitive, and they are deeply empathetic. Like, they are very compassionate towards people, towards strangers as well. Okay. So these were few important aspects of each zodiac signs. So thank you so much. This was the part first of the video. I am going to make the part second. Please do let me know if you have till then, and if you would like more videos on birth charts, astrology, compatibility, houses, planets, and hidden chart secrets. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications.